Friday morning, can't control it. Fired up and counting every minute. Hands are shaking, eyes are burning. The time has come, yeah, this is not a warning. The week was just so long, we had to let it go. Our problems disappeared, we're not tied up anymore. The weekend is here. Sunday calls, we are sick and tired. Up and down, can you feel it?
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Johansson show. It's Kurt, and today got another Reach Academy graduate joining me for today's show in Echo Reed. Echo's been absolutely killing it on Unit 10. Echo, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
No, really excited. I want to jump straight into it actually. Like, we won't go into too much, but how did it feel when Unit 10 of Reach episode 1 went onto the YouTube free show, over 1,000 views, and everybody's sentiment is UNLA killed it in that first match?
I was pretty excited, to be honest. Like, I'd never really had anything like a proper singles match on YouTube. I've had like elimination tag there before, but it was with Norwich, so I was the outskirt person. I wasn't one of the regulars. But having that and having to be in there, LA was really nice, just because she's so good. I hate her, but she is good. Having that match, I loved it. It's probably my favourite match I've had so far, and the praise it got was really lovely. So I was really happy with it overall.
Yeah, what did you do? Just turn on like Twitter and then just seeing like, because it's one thing when your peers are like, oh, that was so good, but then when all the fans are watching it and they're like, LA and Echo killed it, LA and Echo killed it. And I know from like myself, there was a couple of different YouTube content creators that were trusted to have a look at like the show first, and even coming up to that, everyone, like, mine was like match of the night hands down.
It was really strange because like I watched it when it aired with my boyfriend and his family, and then suddenly my phone was just going beep 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 beep, and I'm like, oh, what's happening? I'm trying to watch the show still, and I was just like, oh, okay, loads of praises coming through. This is so strange to me. I was really happy.
Nah, it's a feeling you've got to get used to, and we'll get into like more of Unit 10 shortly, but like, to take it back to the beginning, like, why wrestling? Like, when did you wake up and think, I'm going to be a wrestler?
Well, my brothers were horrible to me, so they chucked me about with the kids, so I guess it just kind of came from that. Ooh, trains in the way. Don't know if you can hear that. I'll put the Is that better?
Yeah.
Can we answer the question again?
Yes, so just do it as if, so why wrestling?
So my brothers were horrible, and they used to chat me about constantly as kids, and like choke slams on the sofa, pedigrees on the carpet. Like, they were mean, but like they used to watch it so much that I slowly got into it.
Yeah.
Like, my other sisters were just not interested at all. They were like, oh, this again on TV again. And then like, the youngsters used to hate it. We used to watch it on like Sky One, like the catch up and the repeat shows. We watched that at like 11 in the morning. My dad's like, oh, here we are again. And she's not impressed, and we just say like, yes, get him. Loved it. And then it wasn't until I was about 16 and just leaving school that I realised that I wanted to try it. Like, there's no harm in trying it. If it's not good, you haven't got to carry on. But I tried it, and it was like, it was on my brother's birthday, and he was like, what the reason is to not show up for my birthday? That is the only reason I'd accept. I was like, okay, I'll take that then. So I went, and I've been hooked since.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Have your brothers never been tempted then, since it was something they used to do to you as a kid?
Both of them have come along with me for one session, because I was like, oh, you might as well try it. And both of them have been once only. My oldest brother was terrible. Like, almost killed himself multiple times with like flip bumps. Like, I'm like, stop. I'm like, ah. My other brother, he was alright, but he's a footballer. That's more of his style than wrestling. He's better at that than he was.
Well,
we tried.
I know your mum's like really supportive, bless her. When I was looking to come round to the October shows, and I was like, right, how far is it from Plymouth if I get to Plymouth? And she's like, we can meet you and we can take you to the shows. And I was like, wow, that's lovely of her. So if she's listening, like, thank you for that offer. It's a shame those shows didn't go ahead, and I'd already like confirmed shouldn't really do it because it was beginning of October, and again, like daughter's due in a couple of weeks now, so that'd have been probably a bit risky if she went into labour whilst I'm in Plymouth watching wrestling.
Way away, yeah.
Yep, definitely not getting back in time for that. But no, so like, how supportive has your parents been? Like you mentioned, your dad was like, "Oh, this is on again." What's his reaction now that you're actually wrestling for a living?
My dad was really surprised at first that I wanted to try it out, but he's been to both the shows I've had in the academy shows. He loved it. He didn't really show it. He was like, I watched like the video back. He's like this. It's like he looks so confused as to what's going on. But he's like, oh, it was really good. I really enjoyed that. And I was like, oh, okay. My stepmom loves it. She was screaming, and I had a mix of her and my mum screaming. My mum always chants my real name, so I'm like, no, Karen, stop it. But bless her, she's obsessed with it. She watches all the Unit 10 shows and she's like screaming. She's like, I hate that Clay. Oh. I'm like, all right, calm down. Just remember it's on the show.
She's going to end up hitting him like at a show one time, like, I hate you.
He wanted to kill PJ Jones after the second Academy show because he gave me 5 chops. Like, yeah, hit her again. And now she's like, you better run, pal. Like, so sorry.
So how did you find the whole like training with obviously Jason and Grayson when you was first starting out?
I was terrified of Grayson when I first started out. I didn't speak to him for about a month.
Why?
Jason, he's like my height, so I was like, oh, you're not scary. That's fine. So I spoke to him, but Grayson's like, he's what, 6 foot something, and he was bigger back then. So I was like, scary man, don't want to talk to that. But like, everyone was really lovely, and as soon as like that first session, I just felt welcome. So that's why that's probably the main reason why I came back, because I loved it. But if it was like awkward or everyone didn't speak to me, I would have been like, oh, I don't really want to come back. But everyone was nice and welcoming, and like they're really supportive. I was terrible at backwards rolls, and I couldn't do a handstand. So I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't want to take up everyone's time. So I was just like, I'll try again next time. I was like, I'll try again. Then get in the ring now. Don't want to be border. But yeah, training under those two at the start was really nice, and like it took me a while to get confidence. I was very, very quiet when I first. I didn't speak to a lot of people. I was just kind of like, and now it's the complete opposite. Now I'm talking to all the newbies, like, hi.
You just watch it up.
Yeah.
Who was training at the time that you joined?
When I joined, I was like just after the originals. So when I started, you had LA there, Aurora. They were the only 2 girls before me.
Yeah.
And then it was Joey Seven, Lucky, Danny Steele, Kitto, Amadeus. Who else was there? I feel like I'm missing someone like major.
Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson Shaw was there. He wasn't there on my first day because I did it on a Saturday for my open day, but then he was there the week after. And then there was Dom as well. Dom started the same day as me because he was at a different company before, but his first day at Reach was my first day. I was like, oh, I'm not a beginner. He gets in the ring. He's doing everything great first time. I was like, he is not a beginner. Yay. Like, damn it.
So how long ago was this when you first went training?
This was nearly 2 years ago. 2 years in March.
Yeah, and how old were you?
I was 17.
17, so
Very
like
quiet.
baby of the group.
I was the baby. Yeah, I think other than Dom, he was just younger than me. I was the youngest person there, and yeah, I was terrified. I was like, all these people are so much bigger than me. Like I'm only like 5'2", 5'3", so I'm like, I'm so small.
Bless you. So you're doing the training, and obviously, especially as a student and somebody in the academy, you're trying to work out who your character's going to be and stuff like that. So what prompted the name Echo Reed?
It's not an interesting story, really. I'm just a nerd. So I love Marvel. I was like, oh, I kind of want a superhero name. So I was like, I'm not going to be a heel, let's be honest, look at me. So I was like, I'm definitely going to be a face. I was like, we can have some sort of like, ooh, cheer for her kind of name. But Reed was because my real name and it sounds similar. And I knew if my mum chants her real name, like she does, it would sound similar.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's like a cover up because I know she's never going to remember it. And my nan does the same thing too. And then Echo, I love reading, like I said, nerd. So I was reading it as this book, and it's called, I can't remember the bloody name, can't remember it. All I know is the town in it was called Echo Ridge, and I was like, oh, I quite like that. And so I went with the name Echo, and then read.
Oh, brilliant.
Not the most fun story, but I liked it.
No, there's nothing wrong like with the superhero and stuff like that. Like, I'm obsessed with like the Marvel and DC comics. So I read quite a lot of them in my spare time, and a lot of people do look at stuff like that for inspiration in their characters. So nothing nerdy about it or anything. I think like I'm literally wearing like a Marvel jumper right now, so I can't really say too much. Yeah, so I can't be like, oh yeah, that's lame, and then accidentally like stretch later and you just see the Marvel.
Like, yes.
Do you read much Marvel at all, or are you just more films and TV shows?
I read a few of the comics like when I was in school, but I haven't really read anything recently. I usually just read a lot of I read a lot of mystery stuff now.
Okay.
I don't know. It fills the entertainment part, I guess.
Yeah. So, how long had you been training until you started thinking what your ring style is going to be and how you're going to try and come across?
It wasn't until just before the first academy show, I'd say, because I went to Norwich beforehand and I learned a few moves that I thought, oh, I could do this. Because there was a few American guys there and they were very much, oh, Lucha, wow, crazy.
Yeah.
They taught me the satellite DDT and the Rana. So I was like, oh, I really want to do that kind of stuff. So I started looking more like the small baby faces like Rey Mysterio, and I looked at Daniel Bryan, how he got built up and stuff. And I kind of wanted to base like a mixture of the two. Like Rey Mysterio, no one really thinks he can't do it because he's already super cool. And then Daniel Bryan, then he made you believe it. So I was like, I want to do the two. So then I can be the small baby face, but I can also be someone you can trust to get the job done. That's what I wanted. I want to be that underdog or the dark horse. That's what my character. That's what I want my character to be.
Brilliant. Like how long had you been training until you got told like, right, Echo, it's go time. You're gonna have your first match.
I got told as they would tell everyone the order of the card for the first academy show. They went, Echo, Dira, you're on the next one. And I went, what? Because at this point it was September, so I'd only been training 6 months at this point.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And from September all the way to December, I was terrified. I was like, like, well, no pressure now. You've got to keep being good. And then when the actual show came around, I was a nervous wreck. I was like popping up and down. And immigration was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I was like, so scared. But it was all right when you get in there. But before, it was horrible.
Oh, bless you. Do you still get those sort of nerves before going through the curtain at a live show?
I was a little bit nervous for the Battle Royal just because I'd never been in one before, so I was like, don't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
But the 10 ones, I was fine. I don't really know why it's suddenly clicked, but I think I'm just more comfortable now and I'm more confident in myself and what I can do. So back then I was still that shy girl, basically. So I just not so confident in myself to get it done. But as soon as that first match was done, I felt great. And then the Battle Royal, I felt great because we had a nice pop for it. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And then it kind of clicked in the brain, like, okay, you're all right. You don't need to be so nervous anymore. You're going to be fine.
So, including the 2 matches you've had so far on Unit 10, like how many matches have you had in total so far?
So there was my first match against Adira. There was Battle Royal. There was a 10-woman elimination tag in Norwich. And then there was LA Unit 10 Episode 1, Tag Match Unit 2, Episode 2. And then that's it so far. That's been it.
Yeah. Oh well, so still very fresh and like so that LA match was your 4th match and you get in so many people that, and again, some of the people that was commenting on watched like all sorts of different wrestling. I know Mags, who sang the praises of that match. He watches everything from like Japan, America, similar to myself, and again, watching that, you wouldn't think it was fourth matching.
Yeah.
And so, like, props to you on, and like you're hitting that hurricanrana like brilliantly as well. I'm enjoying that. And when you like, how do you feel wrestling in the unit without the fans there? Then, like, do you find it easier because you don't have those initial nerves, or do you find it harder because you don't have the crowd to feed off?
See, if there wasn't the other students there, I probably would have found it really hard because I need some sort of reaction to know if I'm doing okay. And like selling wise, I'm terrible at selling when I'm in training, but on the day with like the pressure of everyone watching, I'm fine. I can do it, but I don't understand why I can't do it in training half the time. But if those like at first I was really nervous, thinking, oh, what if the students aren't really loud and it goes completely down the gutter? But they were like a few of them had never really seen us wrestle because they're all quite new to the training school. So all like, oh wow, look what she can do, look what they can do. And they were so hyped for it that they made so much noise, and it was like as soon as we got in the lockup, I was like, I looked at LA and I was like, it's gonna be fine. They're making so much noise. I'm okay. And she was like, it was great. And yeah, I could hear one of them, Toby, in the background. He kept, because you're not allowed to swear because it's family show still. He's like, you horrible witch and all this stuff. I'm like trying not to laugh. And Matt's I can hear it with proper Cornish accent. I was like, horrible witch. Like our Mr. Brown's because he's like, give her a warning. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, oh no, brilliant. Like going back before like Unit 10, then the what's the most like what's the difference between training with Jason and Grayson? Like what have you learned from each of them so far?
So Grayson, I learned majority of my moveset with. He can teach you basically any move, even if he hasn't done it before himself. He can probably just look at it, see what you have to do, and he'll help you through it. Whereas Jason, even though he's a good wrestler, he is more the performance side, how to get your character across, how to make everything a bit bigger in the ring, and how to make it more believable, and all that kind of stuff, and like how to do your promos, because I'm terrible at promos. And I remember he made me do one once, and I was like, okay, yeah, dude, like that's fine. He was like, keep doing this, and this, and you'll be good. And I was like, okay, did it. It was all right. It's just cringy babyface stuff that you love to see. So like, okay, but yeah, so they're a good mix between the two, because you can't just have character and terrible wrestling, or just wrestling and terrible character. You need both of them. So having both of them as coaches is really, really helpful. And like everyone at the academy is always like, if it was just one of them, we'd all fall apart. They need both.
No, they do work really well as a team. And am I right? Because you're supposed to be facing Jason at an academy show before the pandemic, and I remember when I interviewed Jason, I ended up tweeting out like that that graphic, and I still keep posting it about anyways. Where obviously Jason fears Echo, and he knows you're better than him. And rumor has it he caused the pandemic just so he didn't have to wrestle you.
I wouldn't be surprised. He doesn't like me that much. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to that match because he winds me up so much. I just want to hit him. So it's like as soon as we get in the match, I'm like, I hate you. Let's go. But I'm just really annoyed that we can't do it now because we wanted to do it if it was a show, like a proper crowd.
Yeah.
To make it worth something, because otherwise, what's the point of the match?
I don't know. I'd still get a lot of pleasure on a Friday night watching you kick the crap out of Jason.
I'd love to, honestly. If he booked it, I'd be like, yeah, go on then.
So
I honestly love it.
So there's no like coincidence that you weren't in the 8-person tournament for the number one contender, but Jason is. So seems like he's still ducking you.
He's ducked me, and I think he's one that put most of it together. So of course he puts himself in there.
Yeah.
But he wants the glory. But let him be, I guess.
Well, in an ideal world, he'll win it. He'll face Joey, and you can cost him that.
Oh, one can hope. I'm in the good books to Grayson, so all else fails, we'll just stay on his side more than Jason's.
So obviously with Reach as well, they've had so many good guest trainers with the likes of Yeston Reese, Joel Redman, Luke Phoenix. They've got Eddie Ryan, so many people like James Mason. Like, what have your favorite like guest trainers been, and what have you been learning from them?
What's my favorite one? I really enjoyed the Luke Phoenix one, to be honest. That one was like really nice and chill. Everyone was really relaxed and he was really lovely. And like, even if you did something wrong, he didn't make you feel like it was wrong. He just like, just try doing this next time. He was really professional, and everything we learned, like, we still do like training today, so it was great. And like, everyone's brought something different. So I did one Sterling one because the one beforehand was before I started. And Sterling did a lot of selling, which was what I needed help with the most at the time. So I was very happy, and he was like, think energy levels and where you'd be if this was like, if someone got clubbed in the face, if you got kicked in the leg, what would you sell? And it's like, yay, because this is helpful, because I'm an idiot. But everyone's been like really lovely so far. Like, they've taught us a lot. I really liked the James Mason one. He taught us like a nice little spot we could use in the match. And so did Yeston, actually. Yeston was really nice. And he was always like, Jason was like asking some questions, and a lot of the guys were like, "Oh, nutrition stuff," because that's what he's known for. He's really good at his nutrition and exercise, and like he's doing bodybuilding. He's looking great. So that was nice to have like that side, because it's all about, you've got to look the part as well, I guess. It's not just about being the part. You need to look the part, because otherwise no one's going to cheer for you or boo you. You're just going to get silence. That's not what you want at all. Who else have we had? I missed the Chris Andrews one because I was working and I couldn't get to Bodmin in jail in time. So the time I got there, they were already like just about finished. I was like, oh. But that looked fun. Who else have we had? I don't think I've had a Dick Riley one. I think that was all before I started. I've had Joe Redman. Joe Redman was really good. We have Eddie down a lot as well.
Yeah.
Eddie Ryan's lovely. Him and Joel, actually, both really good. I get why Joel has his own school now, because he's a good teacher and he's really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were the sessions like, Joel? Because I imagine it's a lot like his philosophy in the ring. Like, you've got to step up to him, and like he tends to blow up everybody's in the ring with. Like, how did you find like the physical demand of training with Joel?
I was really scared at first because I've heard the stories and how he's quite demanding in a way, not like full on, but like he wants you to be as good as him, which is understandable, to be fair. And like at first I was still pretty new at this point, so you're like nitpicks, which is what I like, because you want to be as good as you can be. So like the rolls, I'd put the wrong foot forward as I got up, like, sorry, what? And I got it, because he'd be like, no, do it again, but okay. And I got it because it's like there's little nitpicks. It just means that they care, because if they didn't care, they'd be like, hey, go on.
Yeah.
So I like that. Same with PJ as well. Actually, PJ came down recently and helped us out a little bit. So like just tiny things, like just makes it so much better.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like lovely people that just help and they care about the Southwest wrestling scene, but not a lot of people do. So it's nice that people as big as Joe Redman, like they care enough to help out us, which is what I like.
Yeah, it's definitely seen that's growing as well. Like, what Reach have done in such a small space of time is incredible, and I say it publicly as well that they've got one of the best academies in the UK, because of how it's run. Nobody's the same wrestler, nobody's the same character. Everybody's unique and different, and they don't use your academy as a cash cow. They get the best trainers in, and it's not repetitive. Like, you've just listed so many different trainers, but they all taught you something different. Whereas they could tell you they could teach you the same as the person before, because they're some of the best wrestlers in the world, but they're highlighting certain bits so then you can become more of a rounded wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. They're all like have bring so much to the table down here, and it's nice having them down here, because if we didn't, we'd have to bring in people that not as many people cared about down here.
Yeah.
To our shows, but everyone's like, they see the name Tyson, like, oh wow, they see the name Josh Knott, they're like, that's gonna be a good show. Whereas if they were to bring, I don't know, someone random from London that no one really knew about from down here, like, yeah, they probably win you over because that's their job, but they probably be like, oh, who is this person?
Yeah.
These people are like our stars down here, and it's what they like. So the regulars what people look forward to than them facing someone big from up London or wherever they're from. Then they
Yeah.
get excited.
How did you find getting back into the ring to be training after having so long off through COVID?
I was terrible. I had a 1-to-1 before the group training started up, so I was like, I don't want to be a complete mess in front of everyone. And I had just finished work, and I had like 3 cups of coffee that morning, but I was so tired. And I'm like dying, but I still got energy, so it was really weird. I'm in there with Grayson, and after like we did all the basic stuff again, we went into a bit of chain wrestling, and he had me in this hold, and I was like on the mat, and I was just like, no more. I was like laughing, just all that energy, but I'm like, I'm done, like panting, like basically almost crying, just so like I can't anymore. I'm so dead. I had to like work up on my cardio so much again, even though I did my exercises during lockdown, like David Luck said before.
Yeah.
So it was like a bunch of us in a Zoom call, just calling basically every day, just do some sort of exercise. He weren't completely messes. Well, they came back. They don't want to be people again, because like we worked so hard to be this small, and it was yeah, I was terrible. I had 2. I had that one, and then I had one the week after with Lucky, and he did better than me because he's so energetic anyway. But I'm like there running the ropes. I'm like, I can't. I'm so tired. I'm ruined. Felt rotten afterwards. But as soon as the group training was back, I felt fine. I had like 4 1-to-1s beforehand.
Yeah.
Now the group's back. I don't feel as bad. I've done it now.
So when you got told about Unit 10's going to be happening and you're going to be wrestling sooner than what you might have anticipated, what was your thoughts going into Unit 10?
I was pretty nervous at first, just obviously because I didn't know there's me, the students there as a crowd. I thought we just have the camera and then the ref in the ring, and I thought what it would be. But it's nice practice because we got to plan our matches on the day. Whereas before, like the academy shows, we'd have a little bit of time because we'd get put with who we're working with in training just to make sure we're okay working together. But we didn't really have that before the Unit 10 show, so I was a bit nervous because one of them matches that's on week 4. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously.
Yeah.
But we had never done anything proper, and we barely worked together, so it was hard learning everyone's moveset in the space of like 10 minutes to plan a match. So it's nice, but it's also good practice for the future, which was what I like because I'm not very good at planning. But it worked out well, which was good.
Yeah. So when you got told you was going to be facing LA, and not only facing LA but winning, what was going through your mind there?
I was both nervous and excited because I was like, I need to make sure it looks good. It has to be believable, and it can't just be like quick, done, smash. Like, no, she's 6 foot tall. Like, she's almost like she's towering over me here. Like, it's got to be a good fight. But I hadn't won a match at all before, so I was like, this is my first win.
Wow.
And I remember who it was, but after they said to me that, I thought you were gonna cry. I was like, I can do it if I wanted to. Like, thespian. But I was like, no, let's save that for a special win. They're like, I almost cried because you almost cried. I was like, that's a good reaction, so I'll take it. I was just happy to have my first win there.
Yeah, it was, again, it was an amazing match. For anybody listening, make sure just head over to Reach Wrestling's YouTube page, watch all the series, but specifically episode 1, where Eka and LA open up and just absolutely kill it. And you carried that momentum through to episode 2. How did you feel this time, knowing that you was going to be teaming with Grayson to be facing Josh Knott and LA?
So, clear that. So I'd never done a proper tag match. I done that elimination one in Norwich, but it's not the same because you're working more to a big team or more towards yourself, whereas that's like you're a team. So I'm used to Grayson because he'll teach me stuff in training, and I'm used to. I learnt my moveset like with her and Grayson.
Yeah.
So, but I'd never worked with Josh before, other than that battle royal where he chopped me as much as PJ. So I was a little bit nervous, thinking, "Am I going to get chopped again?" That's all I was thinking. I was like, "I hope not. I don't want another like hand mark here again." But It was really nice. Yeah, I was quite. I thought I'd be awkward because I'd never really done it properly,
Yeah.
being like someone's corner. But I kind of just got into it as soon as the bell rang. I was like, okay, I'm in like a Reed character now, not me. I was like, just screaming, jumping, hyping up, and then getting in there with Josh was like the first proper time. So
Yeah.
I was quite excited. And I got a nice pop from the other students. So I was like, this is nice. Because if they're popping, then the fans will like it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and Grayson's great.
Yeah, no, I was definitely popping, and like on Twitter as well. I was real hyped when it was as if he was gonna just get out of the ring, and then you thought, nope, I'm gonna have him. I was like, yes,
I was
you,
like, no.
yeah, you go for him, and then when you put him on his ass as well, I was like, good girl, like what a lass. Is that something you'd want to do more of, like whether it's teaming with Grayson or doing more tag team wrestling?
Yeah, I'd like to do a bit more tag just to get the more experience of it. Like, I enjoyed it a lot, and even if it is with Grayson or anyone else, I'll happily do tag. And then I quite like being in there with the guys too, because we train with the guys. And so having a match with them was really fun. It just shows that we can do it just as much as them, because all the girls are taught the same. We
Yeah,
ain't taught to be female wrestlers, we're taught to be wrestlers. So it's nice. And I'd like to get in there more of like mixed tag. That's really fun.
yeah. I was like very impressed the fact that they did it as mixed tag and not where it was intergender wrestling rather than
The
oh
mixed
no, the man's tagged in, so the woman's got to get out, and it's like, oh, come on, like the women towers over the man, like just to put it in the grand scheme of things. For example, say if you was teaming with Jason and LA's in the ring, Jason shouldn't have to tag out because LA's just going to be towering over and just destroy. Like Jason's going to be listening to this and be like, come on, Care, like give it a rest, please. Like, you've said I've caused a pandemic. You've just said like I'm scared of Echo and that LA like steamroll me.
These are all facts though, so it's okay.
That's okay then. So again, obviously Millie McKenzie's the Reach women's champion. Whilst we don't know how long this pandemic's going to be, so we don't know when Millie'd be able to go there. Would you like to see like a women's championship in the academy, and then maybe once shows are back to normality, it can be like champion versus champion to see like an interim women's champion.
I quite like how our main title in the academy is mixed. So like, if you wanted to go for it, like me and LA and Aurora, and even Ruby, who's coming up now, we could all challenge what we wanted to. I quite like that. But I also like that we have one main women's champion, because it's like one goal. You don't got to be like, oh, I could have this one or this one.
Yeah.
That's the main one you want, because that's the big one. So I like that, having just that belt as a goal, because that's what all of us want. We want to be trusted enough to have the belt, and to get in the ring with Millie McKenzie would be amazing, because she's great. She's probably one of the best in the UK, if not one of the best women in the world right now. So any one of us, even I know LA's had a match and she said she loved it because it was a great match. So we all want one as well now. We're all just pushing to have a Millie McKenzie match. Even that, the other women they bring down are great as well, like Giselle Shaw. She's great. They bring in great women.
Is he anybody in particular that you, other than those two, that you like, I want to get in the ring with, where you're itching to get in the ring with that person, other than Jason, of course?
I've seen Chantel Jordan online, and she looks like she's gonna kick the hell out of you, and I like that. So I'd like a match with her. Who else is like around? So I'd like a match with Danny Luna.
Yeah.
That looked like it'd be fun. And same with Candy Floss. I reckon that'd be a fun match.
Yeah.
Those three like stand out to me.
So what are you hoping, once Unit 10's all over, like what do you want your essentially like your Unit 10 legacy to look like? What's your ultimate goal in the Unit 10?
I haven't really thought about that actually. That's a good question. I like to just be seen equally as good as Aurora and LA, because those were the two first girls to come out of the academy. I'd like to be seen as like just as much of a fighter as those two. So if I can leave Unit 10, people thinking, oh, okay, yeah, Eka's in the ring, it's gonna be a good match, or she's capable of getting the win, then I'd be quite happy with myself, because before, like, my first match was with Dira, they were like, yeah, surely not. They're just gonna kill her. I was like, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I'd like to leave with people thinking that I'm a genuine competitor and not just that small 19-year-old girl in the ring. That's what my goal is right now.
Yeah, especially with that Shining Wizard.
Oh, I love doing that. Oh, that's so fun.
What prompted that move? Was it because you mentioned Daniel Bryan earlier? Is that where you took it from?
Yeah, similar. I like a lot of AJ Lee's moves. So obviously I did the Black Widow, and then she did the Shining Wizard, but to the back of the head. I was like,
Yeah.
I might change it up a little bit, kind of like Tegan Knox. She's kind of like similar to me, and because I'm quite small, I'm not really lifting anyone up and throwing them about. So, but I need something I could do to anyone, no matter their size. So I was like, well, this looks cool, and I did it in training, and I wasn't very good at it. I did like one good one, that was about it. And then I was like, I'll try it, and I fully commit on the day.
Yeah.
I don't know why I hold back a bit. I don't know why I do that. I shouldn't really. But like on the day, I'll put 100% effort in, and I'll make sure I try and make it look as good as possible. So I wallied LA. I whacked her. I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't feel it that much. It's fine. I was like, just lobbed my leg. I was like, you can see in the replay. I go, oh, I was so surprised at myself. My boyfriend like paused it and he was like, look at your face. I went, and then I went for the pin. I was genuine. I was like, oh, I did it.
Luckily, that came across as if it was part of the storytelling, though, where you are the smaller underdog and LA's the big giant, and you finally got her down, and you're like, I can pin her. And then,
I can pin her now.
Yeah. So, what are your ultimate goals in wrestling?
Ooh, I have one mini one I want to do before the main one. I really want to wrestle in Germany and Japan. So I'm going to wXw some point next summer.
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also nervous because I know it's going to be really tough. But I know I'll be fine. And then I really want to wrestle in Japan just because their wrestling's so good. It's like proper sport there, and I really like that. And everything they do just looks completely insane. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
The main goal for me, a lot of people say, oh, AEW, WWE, which one would you rather have? But for me, it's always been WWE. Like, no matter what, that's the biggest company still today, in my opinion. So that is the ultimate goal. Just because that's what I grew up watching, and that's just like, if I can make it where where little me was watching before, if I can, that would be a dream come true.
Yeah, I can imagine. What's prompted you to look into the German wrestling scene to go with wXw?
I really like Walter. I don't know you say Walter or Walter. I don't know which way you pronounce it. I quite liked him when he first started at NXT UK, and I was like, oh, okay. He seems pretty cool, and I saw that he had a training school. I was like, oh, that would be wicked, like, train under him, because look at him, he's massive, and he can just teach you so much. So
would you take a chop from Walter?
And I can take a chop from PJ. I probably could take one from Walter, because PJ full on whacked you down. Like, that bump was legit. You full on push you to the mat. I was like, ow. But okay. So I reckon I can take it. I don't cry about it. If you hit me, you hit me. But I really like to go there. And there's some good people that come from that school as well. I think it was like Ilya Dragunov trained there for a bit. So he's great. And my boyfriend loves him too. So he's gonna come along. And we just want to. He's got like German family as well. So his dream is to wrestle in Germany. I was like, well, we'll just go next summer then. Because it's win-win for both of us.
So is it something that's set in stone? Like, have you been in touch with wXw to go out there, or?
So he has a mate that lives in the same city, and he's a wrestler too. He's gonna start training there shortly, but when the summer comes, he said we can just stay with him and we can still go together and do the whole week training one.
Yeah,
which will be nice. So I'm excited for that.
No, that's incredible. Yeah, really looking forward to see like what you'll be like after that. And it's good to see that you're looking further afield for training as well. Looking in different countries where you can get your different training from. I think that's very important to try and they'll teach you it's different philosophies of wrestling, and then when you've got little bits of everything, you can Just piece
combine
it
what you like and what suits you the most.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you never really stop training, so it's like it's best to just see what you can learn from other people and not just staying in one place. Like I love Reach,
Yeah.
but they ask you to branch out a bit so that you can be the best you can. They care.
Yeah.
And they want to see you succeed. They say don't just stay here. Like if you want to go to the seminar, if you want to go up to there to train for a weekend, you can. They praise it. They ask how it was, if it was good or if it was bad, what you learned from there. They like hearing about it.
Yeah.
They do, which is nice. So we told one of the coaches that we were going to Germany, and he's like, if you don't go, I'll kill you. Like you need to go. I was like, okay.
No, it's refreshing to see because I've seen it throughout the UK, some in the north, where companies get precious of their students, and you're not working this company or you're not going to that seminar. Why are you doing that when you're working for us? And
You're meant to be loyal first, like no.
yeah, it's reaches your home. It always will be. So you can always fly the nest, maybe pick up a few new tricks and come home and show everybody and show what you've learned. And I think that'll be a case with a lot of the Reach Academy students, because everybody just they speak of Reach as if it is like their extended family.
Yeah, like no matter where we go, it's always gonna be our home. Like we had Danny Steele right now because he lives in Wales because he's down here. You think he's training in Wales now until he can move back to Plymouth? Like that's fine because you're gonna get so much knowledge from training elsewhere that you can bring that back down with you. Because he's like I'm always gonna come back because he's like this is my home. He loved Reach and he can't wait to come back. He's just sailing up now to come back down.
Oh, brilliant. So for those listening, if they were to one, see yourself wrestle, and two, tune into Reach Unit 10, what can they expect from both?
So if you see me, you can expect a really, really short girl kicking some ass, what I like to say. Because I don't half-ass it. If I'm going to do a job, I have to put all my effort into it. So I think it looks good just because I'm invested myself. So if I'm invested, I feel like I can invest you guys. But if you see Unit 10, nobody is the same in this place. You're going to see a bunch of high-flying stuff from people like Lucky. And you're going to see a bunch of terrifying strength from like the most of the men. You some tech from like Max Wilson. You've got everything. You've got women that can kill you if you want to, like LA. You've got Aurora, who is she's massive, like as well. She's built. She's a very athletic woman. And then you've literally got everything at Unit 10. I don't know what you'd be missing, if I'm honest. So if you want to watch wrestling, it's completely free. You can literally see anything you'd like all in one place every Friday.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Echo, where can they find you on social media?
So here we go. This is a challenge. So I think on Twitter it's Echo_Reed_PW, and then on Instagram it's Echo_Reed_PW.
I'm just double checking for you. You got the Twitter one right, so that's good.
Oh, that's one win to Echo.
And you got the Instagram one right. Well done.
You ordered it to like underscore for Instagram? Is it full stop for Instagram? One person.
No, brilliant. Well, everybody, make sure you do go follow Echo. Echo, thank you for coming on. Like, it's been a pleasure talking to you finally. It has been a long time coming, and I think it's perfect timing following the two like fantastic matches at Unit 10. So again, congratulations on them. Excited to see what's next for you in Unit 10 going forward. And again, next summer in wXw, that will be absolutely amazing for you. So good luck with that.
Thank you. It was really nice coming on here. I really enjoyed it.
No, I'm glad. So everybody, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit subscribe, and go follow Echo so you're not going to miss out on her journey throughout Unit 10 and again going across to Germany for wXw. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Friday morning.